Caution. The Trident 3-move sequence you're about to see could be dangerous in the wrong hands. This private message is for responsible American citizens only. Picture this. You just finished dinner in an unfamiliar part of town. It's gotten late, and there aren't many streetlights working in this neighborhood. You're walking back to your car when a dark figure steps out of the shadows. Immediately, he's in front of you, blocking your path. It's then you notice he's holding a long knife. His shaky hands give away that he's a junkie, someone who would do anything for his next drug fix. He leans in close to your face and snarls, "Give me all your money." His knife is pointed at your stomach and he's caught completely off guard by what happens next. Your first move is so smooth, he never sees it coming. Immediately, he's disoriented and blinded. That's when your second move leaves him doubled over and gasping for air. He's in so much pain, he drops the knife to the sidewalk. And he's not even looking at you when your third and final move sends him down to the ground with a thud. You keep on walking to your car. You're not even out of breath. The whole thing lasted less than 10 seconds. He took you for a victim, someone who was defenseless. He was very wrong. Hi, I'm Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer. For more than 14 years, I've served our country both as a CIA officer and a private security consultant. I've been in dangerous situations more than I'd care to admit, and I'm here to tell you, if you think our country is becoming more dangerous for true Americans, you're 100% correct. It's not media hype, and it's not your imagination. Thanks to liberal judges, our streets are infected with drug-pushing thugs, while immigrants with violent criminal records are flooding over our open borders. And although much of this information is classified, I can assure you the number of ISIS and Muslim terrorists already inside America is much, much higher than the media is reporting. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you what you already know. These days you aren't safe even walking outside your own house. And it's getting worse by the month. That's exactly why I sent you this short video today. To help Americans like you take back our streets from the predators. To walk with confidence even at night, knowing that you are safe, secure, and protected. And even more than that, to know that you can protect your wife and children from an attacker in any situation. Whether it's in a parking lot, a crowded theater, or even your own home. But before I go on, I need to warn you. What I'm about to show you is an operative level technique, meaning it is intended for intelligence operatives and our nation's elite commando teams. Therefore, this 3-move sequence could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Please use it only for self-defense and only when you absolutely need it. Okay, let's get started right now. For many years, I worked for our government as a CIA officer protecting our national interests. I've been trained to handle myself in any situation at any time, anywhere in the world. And I've been in plenty of dangerous situations on the streets. Situations where a normal-looking white guy like me looks like an easy target. And I've never feared for my life or become a victim. Because, thanks to my CIA training, I learned something of unbelievable value. The 3 simple but genius moves that can take down any attacker, no matter your age, no matter your strength, no matter your physical condition. The fact is, I'm a pretty average guy to look at. I keep myself fit, but I'm no gym rat or weightlifter. I don't exactly look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm not a trained boxer or martial artist. I don't need to be. Because thanks to these 3 simple moves, I'm secure and confident in any situation. In fact, I'm downright lethal when necessary. This 3-move defense is a secret weapon of our nation's undercover operatives who face danger all the time. To operatives, this special set of moves is known as the Trident Sequence, or simply the Trident. And today, for the first time, I am making the Trident available to civilian American citizens. Once you know this set of 3 devastating moves, you will walk confidently down any street, even late at night, and travel without worry to new cities, states, and even countries. Because you will know that you can handle any situation. Just 3 simple moves, that's all you need. You can master them in about 5 minutes, probably less. I'm not kidding. Look, most intelligence operatives don't have the time to learn karate or jujitsu or Krav Maga or even boxing. They don't have to. Because they learn this series of 3 simple moves, the Trident will disarm any criminal, incapacitate him, and give you the time to escape. It's so easy and incredibly powerful, thanks to the Trident. 3 moves that you, no matter your age, strength, or speed, will master in just a few short minutes. The Trident is a truly devastating weapon to have. There's a reason our country's operatives can walk into deadly situations with confidence. These 3 moves turn them into fearless warriors. And soon, you'll walk down the streets with the same warrior attitude. Because today, I'm going to tell you exactly what these 3 moves are and how you can use them yourself. Let me be clear. The secret I'm revealing today is completely unknown to most Americans. I simply ask that you use this newfound power only when absolutely necessary. Knowing the Trident will change the way you walk, talk, and interact with people. Men will immediately notice that you carry yourself differently. Expect to get a whole lot more respect when they sense you're not someone to mess with. And, well, I'd be lying if I said that women won't notice the difference either. They will, absolutely. So, prepare for some extra attention and appreciation. Oh, and there's one more thing you need to know before we go any further. I'm not going to ask you to pay me a dime for this information. I mean it, not 1 penny. I'm going to show you the full, devastating Trident sequence for free, and I'll explain exactly how in a moment. Maybe you're wondering, why am I doing this? Well, after I joined the CIA and served our country for nearly a decade, I launched my own security training firm to help train regular people on military and spy combat tactics. But I knew I needed to reach those Americans who aren't able to travel to my training compound in Utah. And that's why I created this video, to show you how to defend yourself from terrorists and criminals. You see, our country is getting more and more dangerous almost daily. Clueless liberal politicians have weakened our police forces, they've weakened our military, weakened our intelligence operations overseas, weakened our gun laws, all in the name of political correctness. So, we are more vulnerable today than at any time in the past 150 years. Frankly, it sickens me to see what our country has become. Thugs in our streets, immigrants with violent past crossing our borders, and Muslim terrorists killing Americans in cold blood. And I'm here to tell you, it ends today. I won't stand for it any longer, and I know you won't either. It's time to take America back, to give our country back to the real Americans. So that's why I created this guide, Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. And I'm giving out 500 free copies to true Americans only today. I'm 100% serious. I published this 524-page survival guide at my own cost, and I have a free copy set aside in your name right now. Inside Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide, you have access to everything I've learned in my years of intelligence and security work. Every intelligence operative secret, every elite military tactic, every self-defense and combat technique I've ever learned, including the Trident, 3 devastating moves that can take down and disable any attacker, or how to neutralize an armed home intruder with controlled violence, plus step-by-step survival strategies for making it through any crisis, whether it's being lost in the wilderness, surviving a plane crash, or even how to prepare for and live through a massive end-stage event like a nuclear attack or a biological plague. I want to be 100% clear. This guide is unavailable to the public, and it includes some tactics that aren't well known outside our elite military commando teams. Not only that, it even reveals highly coveted spy techniques that are closely held secrets of the intelligence community. So I must insist that you share your own copy of Alone and Unafraid only with your most trusted family and friends. I want to make sure this insider information does not reach the hands of our enemies. This book is intended only for true Americans who are willing to fight when necessary to take our country back. People exactly like you. And despite including more than 520 pages of intelligence, military, and survival techniques, the tactics revealed in Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide require no special experience physical ability, or strength. I regularly train people in their 60s and 70s and even older in these techniques. So there is nothing stopping you from mastering these elite defense and survival skills. And when you do, you'll be prepared for any emergency with the training, skills, and cool to take control of a crisis situation. You'll walk at night with complete confidence, knowing you have the defense and combat training to handle anyone, anywhere who threatens you or your family. You'll never be a victim because you'll have prepared for any criminal long before he even thinks to target you. This also means you'll be seen by your family, friends, and community as a leader and alpha dog. Others will look to you for security, advice, and safety. Friends, this is a very powerful position to be in. It's also a big responsibility. You're going to be more aware of the real threats facing your family and much more dangerous to anyone who threatens them. Look, I'm a guy who tries to avoid trouble as much as possible, but make no mistake, I can be a lethal source of violence to anyone who threatens to harm my wife and children. That's my right as a husband, father, and as an American, and I take it very seriously. And thanks to your copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide, you'll soon operate with that same lethal ability. Anyone who threatens you or a person you love will regret it immediately. That's what you're getting today. But that's just a start. It gets so much bigger than that. Your copy also includes everything you need to keep your home and family safe when the proverbial stuff hits the fan. The truth is, the threat of terror in America is very real. Our enemies will stop at nothing to destroy our country. And my law enforcement and intelligence sources share national-level threats with me weekly. Biological warfare, manufactured disease outbreaks, poisoning of our public water supply. The fact is, our nation isn't prepared for these attacks, and the politicians and police won't be able to help you. So you need to be ready when the worst happens. And that's why your free 524-page copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide is so important. It shows you step by step how to prepare for and survive a major attack or catastrophic event. With the same tools and preparedness tactics I use myself to ensure my own family's safety. The advanced tactics revealed in Alone and Unafraid are the results of my intelligence background and private security experience. In some cases, I'm sharing spy tactics and information our government would probably prefer you didn't know. That's why I want to make sure this book only gets to true Americans. Patriots who are ready to take our country back from the thugs, criminals, and enemies that threaten our way of life. Patriots like you. I put aside one copy of Alone and Unafraid today for you, 100% of my own cost, and all I ask is that you promise to do one thing. Take a stand. Use the more than 100 spy, military, and security secrets in Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide to help take back our neighborhoods, towns, and cities. So when you get your copy of Alone and Unafraid, open it immediately to page 179. That's where you'll find complete step-by-step instructions and illustrations to make sure you master the Trident 3 defense moves that can take down any attacker and give you the upper hand 100% of the time, anytime you're threatened. These are 3 extremely simple but deadly tactical fighting moves. The first move in the Trident will disorient and blind your attacker. You'll be shocked how simple it is. He will never see it coming. The second move takes his breath away in an instant. The final move is the most devastating of all. It will drop him to the ground and make it impossible for him to hurt you. And when you claim your free copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide, I'll show you exactly how to use the Trident to devastate any attacker. The easy, clear instructions start on page 179. I think you'll be amazed to find that mastering these 3 moves requires no special abilities, athleticism, or strength. Anyone can use the Trident to disable any attacker. It's foolproof. The fact is, the specialized Trident moves use advanced bio-knowledge of human pain points to immediately disable any attacker. That's why I ask that you use them only when threatened. They are that powerful. So, when your free 524-page copy of Alone and Unafraid arrives in your mailbox a few days from now, open first to the section on page 179 that shows you the Trident Secret. You'll master the 3 moves in just minutes. Then, when you're ready, flip to page 109. Because if you are watching this in your home right now, you are in danger. Look, our country has gone soft on thugs and scumbags, so they're getting more bold and more violent. We're not even safe in our own homes anymore. Did you know a criminal enters a home in the United States every 14 seconds? No one is talking about it, but it's true. Not only that, but 74% of home invasions happen to residential properties like yours. And in 1 out of 3 cases, someone is at home when the criminal breaks in. That could be you, it could be your wife. And they're getting smarter all the time. Sometimes the criminals will pose as utility workers or even police to gain access to your home. And here's the scary statistics no one is reporting on. 90% of residential house locks can be opened by a new picking technique called lock bumping. A set of bump keys for almost any lock can be bought off sketchy websites for as little as $17.99. That's right. For less than $20, any criminal out there can easily get inside your home. And who knows what he could be planning for you. Do the names Joshua, and I'm sure I'll mispronounce his last name, but Komajeski and Stephen Hayes ring any bells? They're the monsters that forced their way into the Cheshire, Connecticut home of Dr. William Pettit in the early hours of July 23, 2007. What happened next was truly sickening. They tied up Pettit in the basement while upstairs they assaulted his wife and 2 young daughters. Afterwards, they set the house on fire. Pettit managed to escape, but his wife and daughters died in the inferno. It was a horrific tragedy, but it underscores an incredibly important question. If you wake up to find someone inside your house, will you know exactly what to do? Because if you don't, you and your family could be victims. That's why, starting on page 109 of Alone and Unafraid, I outline exactly what you need to do in the event of a home invasion. First, I show you how to stop criminals from targeting your home in the first place. Did you know, when criminals select a house to break into, they look for 3 main things. If your house doesn't look like any inviting target, they usually move on. And I explain some very simple ways to make your house extremely unappealing to a criminal. I'll also tell you how to make sure anyone that comes to your door is really who he says he is, even if he's wearing a police uniform. Next, I show you how to create a secure perimeter for your home using intelligence operative level security tactics. In most cases, you'll stop an intruder the second he steps foot on your property. But the most important part of this section starts on page 109. That's where I show you exactly what to do if a criminal does manage to get inside your home. How to make sure your family is safe inside your home's new secure panic room. I show you how you can build one for less than $300. How to take down the intruder using advanced military firefight techniques. Now, let me be clear about this section. In these situations, I believe in 100% violence of action. If an intruder is inside your home and he's going to kill your family, he's lost his right to expect anything but your full committed lethal response. On page 139, you're going to learn how to unleash devastating force on this scumbag. If you do anything less, you are leaving yourself and your family in danger. Remember, your house provides virtually no cover in a firefight, so you need to be the aggressor, but using a controlled combat technique that ensures you always keep the upper hand over the enemy. This military firefight technique is exactly what I show you on page 220, so you'll take down any threat to your family quickly and safely. What kind of gun should you use? I'll help you make sure you don't choose the wrong kind of firearm for close quarters situations. You'll also find out how to use a surprising but deadly backup weapon you have in your home right now. This could be a true lifesaver in a home invasion situation where you're separated from your gun. And you'll get pro techniques such as the slice the pie approach for clearing your home to make sure more criminals aren't hiding inside. These are the same advanced combat techniques I teach to CEOs and celebrities, and you're getting all of them for free. I want to make sure you and your loved ones will never be a victim to a low-life breaking into your home. Remember when our neighborhoods were safe from criminals? Remember when you slept easy at night without worry? Get ready to take back your property today. When you know the tactical home defense techniques and alone and unafraid, you will be prepared for any intruder, no matter what his evil plans are. And feel free to pass along your insider secrets to friends and close neighbors as well. They'll be so grateful. But that's just the start of what the Alone and Unafraid Patriot Defense and Survival Guide has for you. Think bigger, much bigger. Because on page 257, I'm making the most important announcement of my career. And this concerns something far deadlier than burglars and street thugs. Thanks to my network of insiders in countries around the globe, I can now confirm I believe there's something worse, a lot worse, coming to your neighborhood soon. Okay, at this point, I should caution you, what I'm about to show you is not sanctioned by the U.S. government. You definitely won't hear about it on the nightly news either. It involves declassified information about a deadly dark grid attack on U.S. soil by North Korea or Iran within the next 12 months. And the one thing you must do in the first hour after the attack that will increase your family's chances of survival by 99%. For the safety of your family, it's vital that you learn this one thing, because if it happens the way I predict, in the first 15 seconds after the coming dark grid event, you will no longer have light, television, internet, heat, or air conditioning. Supermarket shelves will be empty just 3 hours after the attack. Within 4 hours, your faucets will run dry. The food in your refrigerator will start to spoil the next day. Gas stations will run out of gas within 2 days. The streets will fill with stalled, useless vehicles. After the first few days, the panicked voices coming through your portable radio will give way to just static. You won't know where your local police are or even if they still exist. Hospitals will shut down. Sick people relying on automated medical devices will be the first to die. Within just hours of the attack, major looting will have begun in urban areas. Violence soon follows. Fires will start to rage in the cities. You'll see the smoke haze on the horizon. It's a warning sign for what's to come. After 3 days, mobs will move out from the devastated inner cities into the suburbs and then the outlying towns, stealing, assaulting, murdering. They will look for the best stocked homes first. And even if you could call 911, no one is there to answer. If the dark grid event lasts longer than a week, the federal government and our military will collapse. At that point, even your own neighbors will be desperate for food and clean drinking water, and they could become a threat to you. 2 weeks after the attack, only the very strong will survive. This is not science fiction or even a worst-case scenario. I believe a dark grid attack like the one I just described is going to happen in the next 12 months. I know that might sound crazy, but I'm about to show you the disturbing proof. And if you're wondering how I got my hands on it, well, it's because I maintain a network of the most connected intelligence professionals on the planet. And I'm privy to secrets most people would never even want to know. But I'm also a proud American patriot. That's why I'm about to show you something that our own U.S. government won't. The fact is, the United States is completely unprepared for the imminent dark grid attack coming from North Korea or Iran. These two criminal regimes are the most likely threat, but ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and China and Russia can't be ignored either. We are not ready, and no one is talking about it. So you must pay attention in the next 1 minute and 45 seconds of this presentation. The safety and survival of your own family could depend on it. Because when it happens, if you're not prepared, you'll be the victim. Unless, that is, you do exactly what I'm about to share. As someone who knows many of our nation's very deepest secrets, I'm here to tell you this is not a drill. The threat is absolutely real. And it's on its way now. A dark grid attack, when a rogue nation launches a sophisticated cyber attack against the U.S. power grid, is not only likely, it's practically guaranteed. And if you want to know why I'm so sure, consider this. The United States government faces a new cyber attack from rogue agents every 8 minutes. That's an attack every 8 minutes of every day of the year, all day, all night. Our enemies truly hate our proud nation and our free citizens like you and me. There's no easy way to say it. They won't stop until they've killed every one of us. And here's the scariest part. They're getting more dangerous. They have recently developed much more powerful cyber tools and weapons to use against us. And thanks to intelligence leaks by traitors, they are even using our own CIA hacking tools against us. I'm talking about the best cyber weapons on Earth now being used against us. Almost no one knows that, and our government sure isn't talking about it. Neither is the liberal media. I'll explain exactly why in a moment. But first, to demonstrate the threat we face, I'm going to share this private intelligence with you. On January 12, 2015, at 12:25 p.m., ISIS terrorists hacked the U.S. Central Command account, sending out this chilling message: American soldiers, we are coming. Watch your back, ISIS. Here's a screenshot of the hacked site. Again, this is our U.S. Central Command site. There's more. On Sunday, June 25, 2017, government websites in Ohio, Maryland, New York, and Washington were all hacked with pro-ISIS messages. And it gets much worse than that. Since 2014, the following websites have been infiltrated by outside unknown operatives: the U.S. Army website, the Department of State, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Federal Reserve, the White House, the Department of Defense, and no one is telling the American public. There's still more, and it's even more terrifying. Hackers from outside our country recently stole sensitive personal information, including home addresses, from at least 22 million U.S. citizens. The real number may be even more. Not only that, but the digitized files of 5.6 million U.S. citizens' fingerprints were recently stolen by unknown hackers for a still unknown purpose. That's right, our enemies could already have your name, address, and even your fingerprints. And if you think that's as scary as it gets, think again. I bet you've never heard this incident on the news. In August 2013, Iran's Revolutionary Guard hackers took control of a dam in New York State, controlling the ability to open the floodgates. Experts believe this may have been a test run for taking control of major U.S. dams in high population areas with devastating results. But as worrisome as that is, it's nothing compared to what would happen in a successful dark grid attack on America. A dark grid event is the number one threat to our safety as Americans, but what exactly is it? It's when one of our enemies, likely Iran or North Korea, is able to hack into our nation's electric grid and use sophisticated cyber weapons to shut it down so completely that it can't be brought back online, not for days or weeks or even months or more. In a full attack without power, our cities and towns would descend into devastation, anarchy, and death. No matter where you live, you and your family will face grave danger. Newsweek magazine, one of the few media outlets to report on the threat of a dark grid attack, said it would spin the world into chaos that could spell the end of our society. We can't imagine the toll because we've never seen such an attack. If that sounds overblown, let me assure you, this scenario is not only possible, but extremely likely. Terrorists are practicing for it right now. I bet you didn't hear about the cyber attacks on the power system in the Ukraine in 2015. Hackers from a still unknown state were able to shut off all power to 250,000 people and keep it off. A year later, someone did it again, turning the lights off in Kiev, capital city of Ukraine. Could these have actually been trial runs for a bigger attack against the United States? Our electric systems are very similar to those that were shut down in the Ukraine. The one thing I know for sure is that our enemies are planning a devastating attack, and soon. And again, our leaders have said nothing. Why? Well, the disturbing fact is the United States is completely unprepared for an attack on our power grid. I'm sure that sounds impossible, but it's true. We've rapidly digitized our power control systems, but we've failed to invest in the necessary cybersecurity measures. Plus, many of our industrial control systems are built on computing systems from a generation ago. They were not designed with security in mind, and they cannot be updated. Finally, believe it or not, these control devices are often accessible from the public internet. We are completely vulnerable to an attack. No one else is talking about it, but thanks to my connections in the intelligence community, I've been warned about this clear and present danger. And now, so have you. That makes you one of a very few and select Americans in the know. The truth is, many in our government don't want our citizens to know the threat we're facing. You see, if the U.S. public realized how much danger we are really in, there could be severe consequences for our economy. And you know the almighty dollar is the real king in our country today. Well, I care a whole lot more about the American citizen than I do about the American corporations or politicians, so I'm not staying silent. When the time comes, you'll need to know exactly what to do to save yourself, your children, and your grandchildren. They'll need your leadership because only you will be prepared for the coming dark grid event. Only you will know how to protect your family even in the most deadly of circumstances, and how to survive a full attack no matter how long it lasts. That's exactly what you'll get on page 257 of your copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. You'll find step-by-step instructions for how to prepare for an attack, how much food and water you'll need, how to store it, and how to keep it safe. What kind of communication devices will still work after the electric grid goes down, and how to prepare to defend your home against looters and violent thugs, and how to make sure that your family stays safe no matter how devastating the attack is or how long it lasts. With these tactics and self-defense secrets at hand, you'll be the only house that not only survives the attack, but thrives. Don't be surprised if you're seen as a bit of a hero, even though that's not the recognition you're seeking. But make no mistake, Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide is the only way to get spy-level tactics for surviving a dark grid event. This is the same preparation I've done myself, and the defense tools I share with you are the same I'll use to keep my family safe. Don't be a victim. Don't be unprepared when the worst happens. Let your neighbors laugh and say that something like this can't happen here in America. You know the disturbing truth, and you'll be the only one who's prepared for it. They'll be begging you for help when the time comes. My sources tell me a dark grid event in the United States is on the horizon. Make sure you're ready. That's where Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide comes in. In a moment from now, I'm going to tell you exactly how to RSVP for your own free copy. Remember, I've reserved one 524-page copy just for you. Please accept it with my sincere compliments. I only ask that you use the information inside to take a stand for real American values, to stop letting our country get terrorized by criminals and thugs, and keep your family safe from our enemies at home and abroad. In just a few days from now, Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide will arrive in discreet packaging. When you get your copy in your mailbox, open it immediately. Admire the clean design and logical organization. After all, this is designed as a military-style field guide for use in crisis situations. Flip through the 524 pages. You'll be amazed at all the life-saving secrets inside, like how to defend yourself from a terrifying new type of crime, virtual kidnappings. Have you heard of this scam yet? Just listen to this true story. Bob M. from Colorado recently got a phone call at his home. When he answered, he heard a heavily accented voice say, "I will slit your throat from ear to ear if you do not listen to every word I say. Do exactly what I tell you. Do not hang up. Do not look out the window. I know where you are, and if you don't cooperate, I will kill you." The caller told Bob they would torture and dismember him if he didn't pay the ransom. Bob was terrified and sent the $3,000 wire transfer they demanded. There are other variations on this new kind of crime. In some cases, the caller will tell you, "I will kill your daughter's son if you don't pay." But here's the thing. These calls are scams. Almost always, the person calling doesn't know you at all and has no way to harm you. However, they're admittedly terrifying, and you don't want to be wrong. That's why you need to know the 3 ways to tell if the virtual kidnapping call is real or not. On page 497 of Alone and Unafraid, I will show you the 3 giveaways that confirm the call is a fake, or that show if you or a loved one is actually in danger. Like I said, 99% of the time these calls are scams. But in the unlikely event the danger is real, I explain exactly what to do so that you don't have to pay the ransom and still stay safe. There's even more. On page 197, you'll find out how to use a spy trick called a toss wallet to foil would-be criminals and get them arrested. If you use this method correctly, you'll stay safe if someone is trying to rob you. And not only that, but this trick guarantees the bad guy will get thrown behind bars. This is a special Spy Insider tactic, and it's available only when you claim your free 524-page copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. The next one is really important. It's a reality of today's America that you could face an active shooter situation at any time. Whether you're at a mall, a sporting event, a movie, a restaurant, or the grocery store, the threat of encountering a deranged lunatic or terrorist gunman is very real. And, as always, knowing exactly what to do is the difference between survival and becoming a victim. That's why, starting on page 205 of your free guide, my friend Clint, a retired Navy SEAL, shares the 5 things you must do to survive an active shooter situation. This section is required reading for any American who often goes out in public. The fact is, if you don't know these 5 survival skills, your chances of making it through an active shooter incident go way down. Clint's first tip: never play dead. He tells you why, plus the 4 other survival secrets, starting on page 205 of your new copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. There's so much more. Did you know there are 2 questions you can use to tell if someone is lying? This is an enhanced interrogation technique, so please use it wisely. I consider it one of my most powerful tools, and it's just as effective on a stranger at the door, your nosy neighbor, or even your kids. Just use these 2 questions, and no one will ever be able to lie to you again. Also, this might sound strange, but I always wear a belt, and you should too. I'm not kidding. There are actually 7 different ways a belt can keep you alive in an emergency, and it can even be a lethal weapon. I show you what I mean starting on page 385 of your copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. Now, are you a pretty good shot with a rifle? Maybe you're even an experienced hunter. That's important, because if you find yourself in a survival situation in more than a week, you're probably going to need to hunt for food. And hunting for survival is a whole lot harder than hunting for sport. That's why on page 241, I share my specific recommendations for the best caliber firearm by type of game and the right type of ammunition. If you find yourself hunting for food to keep you and your family alive, you'll be glad you followed this advice. Also, there are 5 big mistakes people make when choosing a hunting rifle for survival. Be sure you didn't make any of them. That's on page 244 of your new book. And there's still more. I think it's important that every patriotic American knows the truth behind the 2016 election. Yes, the election is long over, and that's a good thing. Because on page 8, you're going to get the true lowdown from one of the most connected former CIA operatives in the world. His code name is Javelin. He explains exactly why Hillary Clinton would have been so dangerous for America. It doesn't matter if you're a Trump supporter or not, we dodged a bullet. Note, this is intelligence the media is not covering. It starts on page 8 of your free survival guide. By the way, in case you have any liberal relatives, you might want to share this with them. I imagine it will change the way they think. Okay, let me ask you this. In a survival situation in the wilderness, what's the first thing you should do? Most people would say finding food and water is always your highest priority. But that's wrong. And that's just one of the 9 survival myths that will quickly get you killed. You'll find them starting on page 365 of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. The 5th myth is, you need to boil water for 15 minutes to kill all germs. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. Most people fall victim to these myths, and that can get them killed, quick. But thanks to your free guide, when you're in a life or death survival situation, you'll be prepared. Then, I'll show you the one gun you need in your collection. Hint, it's not an AR-15. This specialized rifle should be your go-to for everything from short-range firefights to long-range sniper takedowns. Get all of the details on page 229 of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. There's so much more. Did you know if you have this one type of computer keyboard, a hacker could see everything you type? Unfortunately, I'm dead serious, and full details are on page 103. Then, starting on page 143, I'll show you why your home security system isn't nearly as secure as you think. Most of the off-the-shelf systems have the same flaws. And trust me, criminals already know exactly how to get past your system. I'll explain what these flaws are and the 3 things you need to do to be safe. Here's one tip. Place a large dog bowl by your back door, the biggest one you can find. It doesn't matter whether you even have a dog. Just thinking there's a big dog inside is often enough to deter a would-be intruder. In fact, criminals are more afraid of dogs than guns. So that's an easy trick. But the next 2 tips are really vital to stopping intruders, and you'll get every detail starting on page 125. Here's a disturbing thought. Want to know if there's an enemy agent in your town? On page 53, I'm sharing insider information on how to spot and confirm an enemy agent. Just look for these telltale giveaways. Hint, foreign agents are often women. Then there's this. My close friend Cade Corley was a sniper and platoon commander of SEAL Team 1. So he's a seriously tough and well-trained warrior. And he always carries exactly 5 items with him when he is on assignment. They are the 5 most valuable survival tools ever created, and on page 377 you're going to find out exactly what they are and how you can get them for yourself. This is Navy SEAL tactical information. You will be far ahead of your neighbors when you know these 5 survival must-haves. And there's another thing Cade emphasizes in his combat training. When you own the night, you own the operation. One of the most important survival tools you could have is a set of all-purpose military-grade night vision goggles. Don't settle for the amateur junk they sell on eBay or Amazon. In your copy of Alone and Unafraid, Cade tells you how to access a set of commando-quality goggles. These are the same specifications as the goggles Cade used for top-secret night missions in the Middle East. You'll find out exactly what to buy and where they're sold. This military-grade equipment makes it look like broad daylight in the darkest conditions, even if there's no moon. When you can see an intruder, but he can't see you, game over, you win. Get outfitted by a former top Navy SEAL starting on page 279 of your new copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. Then, on page 319, you'll find 5 weird survival hacks using household items. Sometimes you have to improvise to stay alive. You'll find out about 5 common household items that can be surprisingly effective in life or death situations. Note, you won't believe what you can do with pantyhose. Did you know there's one mistake that almost everyone makes if they're stranded in their car? And it's deadly. On page 336, you'll learn how to avoid making this killer mistake. Plus, you'll find out the 3 things you must keep in your car at all times to stay safe in any roadside emergency. These are the exact tools I have in my car right now and in my wife's car as well. The complete list is on page 346 of your free copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. Then, imagine you're in a deadly firefight with an armed intruder and your gun jams and won't clear. Or the assailant is between you and your gun safe upstairs. That's why you must keep this special jungle weapon in your home just in case your gun isn't an option. You'll find out exactly where to get it and how to use it to take down an armed intruder on page 200. Or want a spy insider trick to create a hacker-proof password for your computer and online accounts? That's on page 95. Then, I pray you'll never need this one, but on page 401, you'll find out how to survive a plane crash. Hint, there are 3 rows in the plane you always want to sit in. There's more. Our nation's enemies could be planning a biological attack right now. Not only that, but the threat of a disease epidemic like the deadly bird flu remains urgent. If either scenario happens, you need to be prepared to keep your family safe in your home for up to an 8-week quarantine period. That requires specialized planning. You'll need to buy exactly 5 items to last a full 8-week quarantine. That's why I've detailed everything you need to know on page 435. That's still just the start of what you're getting today. I carry 10 things every day for self-defense and survival. If you're in a life or death situation, these are the tools that will keep you alive. Find out the full list of the 10 vital survival tools and where to get them on page 32 of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. Did you know you should always stay between floors 3 and 6 in a hotel? On page 463, you'll find out why, plus 4 intelligence operative level tips for staying safe when you travel. Then on page 417, one of the most important sections begins, survival medicine. Written by my associate, Dr. Omar Hamada, a decorated 10-year Army veteran, you'll learn exactly how to dress a wound, stop infection, set a broken bone, and even do emergency surgery in the field. When medical attention isn't available, knowing the basics of field medicine is often the difference between life or death. This vital information might just save your life someday, or the life of a loved one. And that's still just the very tip of the proverbial iceberg of what you'll find in your personal copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. For the next 24 hours, I've reserved one free copy in your name, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can RSVP for it right now. You see, every one of the military and undercover techniques you read about today came from one source, something unique in the history of our country. An undercover report exposing the real threats facing Americans, the ones only the intelligence community knows, and the specialized defense and survival strategies necessary to overcome them. It's called Spy and Survival Briefing, and it's a monthly report that tells the real truth about the dangers facing American citizens today, and how to neutralize them with advanced military, intelligence, and survival techniques. This is the real deal. Spy and Survival Briefing reveals the critical tactics used by elite military teams and undercover operatives, stop criminals from making victims of you and your family, including commando training on how to use deadly force when necessary, how to prepare for and survive catastrophic events including dark grid attacks, nuclear or biological warfare, and even the collapse of our government, and how to use insider intelligence community secrets to stay safe from terror cells and foreign agents operating inside our own country. Every month, we mail out Spy and Survival Briefing to a small group of Americans who can handle the unfiltered truth, and who are smart enough to realize that the only way to stand up to criminals and threats facing us today in America is to fight fire with fire. Each issue of Spy and Survival Briefing is put together by the most elite team anywhere, an independent team of top intelligence and former military operatives who share the truth about what's really going on in America, and exactly how to keep your family and loved ones safe and protected in every situation you may encounter. I'm talking about experts like former Navy SEAL Cade Corley. Just to become a Navy SEAL, Cade endured 19 months of training, 2 hell weeks, a broken left leg, a twice broken right leg, and a fractured skull. He also attended the elite SEAL Sniper School, a distinct honor. Most impressively, Cade spent 9 years in active duty, leading highly classified, high-risk operations in the most dangerous places on Earth. Eventually, he earned the right to become a platoon commander of SEAL Team 1. Cade is an expert on advanced combat techniques, including how to neutralize an enemy in just seconds. If you have a fight on your hands, there's no one better to have on your side than Cade Corley. Then, Dr. Omar Hamada shares his expert experience as a combat medic. Dr. Hamada is a 14-year veteran of the U.S. Army, 10 years of which were spent in the U.S. Army Special Forces, Airborne. He is also a decorated recipient of the Bronze Star Medal. When it comes to learning how to provide life-saving medical care in the worst situations you can face, Dr. Omar Hamada is the best there is. The final member of my team is, well, I can't actually tell you his name, but the man whose codename is Javelin is one of the most decorated officers in the history of the CIA. That's not an exaggeration. Javelin has more than 40 years of international operative experience. His time in the deepest cover, plus his continued intelligence work, means that I can't reveal his true identity. That would be too dangerous for him. But thanks to his unparalleled network, Javelin knows secrets about threats to Americans that the public doesn't know. I'm talking about North Korea, Iran, ISIS, the Islamic State, China, and even terror cells inside America. And he shares that information only with readers of Spy and Survival Briefing. Every month, this private group of U.S. citizens gets access to insider intelligence on proven defense and survival techniques other people simply do not know. And that's why I contacted you today. We are inviting a few smart, independent-minded Americans to gain entry to our exclusive inner circle of spy and survival subscribers. These private citizens will soon access the most advanced survival, security, and defense ideas available. I'm talking about intelligence and military-level solutions for surviving terror attacks, natural disasters, criminal encounters, dark grid events, and so much more. Spy and Survival Briefing is written especially for people over the age of 50 who are the head of their household and whose families rely on them for security. Being a subscriber to Spy and Survival Briefing is like joining an exclusive community of true Americans who have taken back their homes, neighborhoods, and their towns from the thugs and criminals, and who are prepared to survive any situation, even a national or global catastrophic event. Today, it's your turn. On behalf of former Navy SEAL Cade Corley, Dr. Omar Hamada, Javelin, and the rest of the Spy and Survival Briefing team, I'm inviting you to join our private subscribers circle. And when you accept this invitation, I want to thank you with an incredibly valuable free gift. The 524-page Alone and Unafraid Patriot Defense and Survival Guide of intelligence and military defense and spy and survival techniques. It contains every one of our team's tested methods for keeping you and your family safe no matter what happens. And this gift is absolutely free when you agree to give our Spy and Survival Briefing a try today. All we ask is a small contribution to cover printing and mailing your monthly issues. And I'll thank you with the most valuable free gift I've ever offered, Alone and Unafraid Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. And make no mistake, this is truly a gift. Your 524-page book is yours to keep, always, even if you end up deciding Spy and Survival Briefing newsletter isn't right for you. So, are you ready to get started? Ready to get your exclusive access to the military and intelligence secrets most people don't know, like how to use the Trident to incapacitate any attacker in less than 10 seconds on page 179. Protect your family against a home invasion, including how to use deadly force against the intruder, page 109. How to survive a devastating dark grid event, page 257. How to perform field surgery in a crisis situation, page 417. The one gun you must own for defense, page 229. All of this and so much more is in your 524-page copy of Alone and Unafraid Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. And it's yours free when you accept my personal invitation to join the private Spy and Survival Briefing subscriber list. But I don't want you to say yes just yet, because I want to make sure you're getting exactly what you need to keep your family safe in any crisis. So I've decided to make your free gift package better, a whole lot better. When you agree to try Spy and Survival Briefing today, we'll rush you your 524-page Alone and Unafraid Patriot Defense and Survival Guide at no cost, not even a shipping fee. But that's not all, because I have two more valuable free reports for you today, packed to the gills with the secrets other people will never know. Bonus report number 1, make your finances blackout proof, how to secure and protect your wealth in a crisis. If you have your savings in dollars, as most people do, when a crisis happens, you could watch the value of decades of hard work drop to zero. But there are a few safe havens, tangible assets that you can use as stores of wealth. The best part? In a crisis, their value goes up, not down. So if you store your wealth in these safe havens, you can see the value of your savings increase during a catastrophe. Remember after 9/11, the financial markets closed and didn't open again for 5 days? And when they did, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged over 684 points, the biggest one-day point loss in history. Over 1.4 trillion was lost in the stock market in a single week. So then the government started printing money like crazy, which caused the value of the dollar to plummet. Before 9/11, gold was $285 per ounce. Just 10 years later, it was valued at $1,820 per ounce and rising. That's a staggering 538% increase. Yet gold is just one type of safe haven for your money, and it's not even necessarily the best for you. There are many others, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg getting your hands on them either. This guide will teach you exactly what you need to do in order to make your investments and savings disaster-proof. You'll learn While gold might not be your best precious metal investment, there's a cheaper way to store your wealth. Did you know there's a 100% legal way to stash money offshore and it's completely tax-free? You'll get every detail you need. How much cash should you store in your house for emergencies? And what's the safest way to keep it out of the hands of burglars? You'll get all of this and so much more in your copy of Make Your Finances Blackout Proof: How to Secure and Protect Your Wealth in a Crisis. That's your first free bonus gift for trying Spine Survival Briefing, but that's just the start. You'll also get bonus number 2, the Covert Guide to Concealed Carry. If you ever find yourself in a situation facing an attacker with a gun, the information in this report could very well save your life. Listen to this. It was freezing outside. I was training at the farm, a secret CIA facility, and there was about 6 inches of snow on the ground. My hands were so numb I could barely feel the rounds in my hand as I loaded my gun for the next shooting drill. But even with my fingers frozen, I successfully took out all the threats and then went back to the training building to warm up. Over the next several years, I would spend countless hours learning how to shoot from some of the best in the business, top CIA training officers and Navy SEALs. After all, to become the best, you must learn from the best, work with the best, and surround yourself with the best. It's that simple. And in the instances in my life when I had to put this training to the test, I was extremely thankful to have the knowledge and ability to protect myself. And now I'm going to pass it along to you in the Covert Guide to Concealed Carry. I'm sharing commando-level combat secrets so that if you ever are in a life or death face-off with an armed assailant, you have the tools and training to quickly neutralize the threat and keep you and your family safe. You'll know exactly what to do and how to win in every firefight scenario. This is Special Forces level combat training, and it's normally not available to the public, so please use this guide responsibly. It doesn't matter if you've never picked up a gun in your life or if you've been shooting 50 years or more. I guarantee you what you'll learn in the Covert Guide to Concealed Carry will change your ability to respond and take down a threat. In this report, you'll learn elite intelligence operative and security training secrets like, is a revolver or semi-auto a better choice for concealed carry? There's a clear answer. How to hold your gun for the most accuracy in an intense combat situation. Why every American should have a concealed carry permit. Actually, you should have 2 permits. I explain why on page 4. Why I would never open carry even where it's legal, and the best invisible holster to conceal your weapon in public. The right way to draw your gun for maximum speed depending on what you're wearing. The best way to clear jam from your semi-auto in an emergency situation. When is it okay and legal to kill an attacker, and how do you avoid going to jail? How a New York reload could save your life. Plus, I share a lot of private stories from my days with the agency and so much more. Today, your 2 bonus reports, Make Your Finances Blackout Proof: How to Secure and Protect Your Wealth in a Crisis, and the Covert Guide to Concealed Carry, as well as your 524-page encyclopedia of defense and survival, Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide, are your free gifts with our team's sincere compliments. Are you ready to claim all of your gifts right now? In a moment, you'll see a button appear under this video. When you press it, you'll be taken to a secure order form where you can claim your 3 free gifts and start your subscription to the privately circulated newsletter, Spine Survival Briefing. But there's one final thing I need to share before I go. You see, I want there to be no reason why you wouldn't give Spine Survival Briefing a try today. So when you agree to try out Spine Survival Briefing, you take 0 risk. None whatsoever. Let me explain. In a few days, you'll receive a welcome package in the mail containing your 3 free gifts, including your 524-page Alone and Unafraid Patriot Defense and Survival Guide book, and your 2 bonus reports, Make Your Finances Blackout Proof and the Covert Guide to Concealed Carry. Open them immediately so you can access their secrets for defending your home and family against criminals, protecting your assets in a crisis, and surviving any disaster or foreign threat. Then, every month like clockwork, we will mail your latest issue of Spine Survival Briefing. Read it carefully to discover the newest secrets for combat, defense, and survival. From advanced survival preparation to covert weaponry, from field medicine to survival techniques, from personal self-defense moves to commando firefight strategies. Every issue of Spine Survival Briefing is full of easy and inexpensive solutions for erasing threats from your home and neighborhood. You'll look forward to every monthly issue and how powerful, prepared, and ready for anything you'll feel. But if for any reason you're not 100% satisfied with Spine Survival Briefing, just call our friendly, English-speaking customer service team and request a refund. And we'll refund you immediately and give back every penny you paid, guaranteed. Not only that, we insist you keep all 3 free gifts as our way of saying thanks for giving us a try. Let me repeat that. If you're not completely satisfied with Spine Survival Briefing, simply let us know and we'll gladly refund your entire subscription price, and this guarantee does not expire. Whether it's your first issue or your last, you are guaranteed a full, no questions asked refund at any time, with no hassles or fine print. And you always keep your 3 free gifts no matter what. It doesn't get any fairer than that, does it? We know you'll be thrilled with the underground secrets you find in every single issue of Spine Survival Briefing. With covert information and elite military tactics you simply cannot get anywhere else. And no matter what, you take 0 risk for giving us a try today. Guaranteed. But there is one catch. I'm afraid this invitation with your 3 free gift package is only available right here, right now. The information I shared today, including your 524-page copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide, is not sold in stores, and it never will be. The insider intelligence and military training is too explosive to be sold to the general public. No, this full set of defense and survival tools is only for true Americans like you who watch this private presentation. Okay, it's time to make a choice. Do you want to be a victim, or do you want to be the hero who keeps his family safe and friends safe? Are you going to continue to let America be taken over by thugs and criminals, or will you take a stand and learn the tactics necessary to fight back and survive? I know you're a true American. I know you'll take a side for real America, but you must make that decision right now. This is the most valuable gift set we've ever offered, and I can't say for sure how long we will keep it available. Right now, there's 1 copy of Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide reserved in your name, plus free bonus reports, Make Your Finances Blackout Proof, and the Covert Guide to Concealed Carry. But if you don't claim them all right now, then they'll have to be released to someone else. Don't let that happen. So are you ready? Ready for your exclusive access to how to use the 3 devastating Trident moves to incapacitate any attacker in less than 10 seconds, page 179. Protect your family against a home invasion, including when and how to use deadly force against the intruder, page 109. How to make sure you survive a catastrophic dark grid event, page 257. How to perform field surgery in a crisis situation, page 417. And so very much more. It's time. Go ahead and click the button below this video right now. You'll be taken to a secure order form where you can claim all 3 of your free gifts. Remember, your complete satisfaction is always 100% guaranteed. You have nothing to lose and a stronger, safer future to gain. Drop the fear of crime and crisis and get ready to embrace your new life now, where you're prepared and trained and ready to face anything or anyone that comes your way. Click the button below now while your exclusive invitation and complete 3 gift package is still available. For the entire Spine Survival team, I'm Jason Hanson. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Click below now to claim your free gifts.